Hi guys, thank you very much for joining me. Polina here. Very excited to talk to you about this specific event. So we have a full moon in the sky. We have the beginning of the year and the equinox, of course, and the shift from the old to the new, from Pisces to Aries, and also the global ascendant and the global descendant being highlighted by this incredible global event. I'm very happy to see you. So let's start this particular video on the fact that you have to already feel done, achieved, and not just done, achieved, and understood, but completed. We're not just at the end of the year, we're actually also at the end of a great big 7-year cycle, and I trust that this is the time when we should not any longer worry about what we could have, should have done. We now have to see our own lives in perspective. We shouldn't have to carry anybody else's karmic debt, and we shouldn't have to need anybody else to be in our lives if they're not there yet. Until this particular event, you have time. Just drop it down. Drop everything that you are still carrying. You don't have to. Perhaps you're not used to things being as easy and as obvious as they are now. Let things that are obvious and easy be that. Enjoy the simplicity of your lives. If you can also touch another person's life only if you have to or you need to, but also do it with the most kindness, generosity, and respect. Please don't tell anybody off. Don't pull anybody's life to pieces. Don't criticize anybody else's life. If you can't play nice, then you don't have to be there right now. And it's also very good to not actually have to be in control. Control. The need to keep things together. The need to keep things down. For the while, I'm not saying this is forever, but for the while, please let go of anybody or anything that you feel you need to be in control of, or anything that you feel gives you control, power, or any kind of glamour. Anything that makes you feel or made you feel in the last while that it has taught you or made you greater, anybody or anything, any substance, conversation, style of life or situation that you feel is giving you better than before, better than usual. So grasping onto a result with somebody or something is not right. But also feeling resultless and unresolved and confused isn't very good either. So basically, it is truly the counting of chickens time. We have a grand, amazing trine and earth sign trine, and we also have a very, very nice satisfying stellium in Pisces, between Pisces and Aries, that says to us that things are done and we're going through this new door, through which we might see much more of us. And this is also to do with love. This is also to do with relationships, friendships, and other phenomena that is happening in close proximity. We might just now fully understand who we are to each other, and also it might be that the blinders are off and we see perhaps certain dreams or fantasies, situations we could have lived much better than we've done, and guilt or confusion can knock at the door. But I hope that you can now see us. So if you're like in a family, if you're in a soul tribe, if you're in some kind of like connection, the blinders should be coming off. And one of the best ways to celebrate is together. I believe the new year is always best together. So the 21st marking the starting of a new solar cycle, and also perhaps a new start for us. Please say thank you, say sorry where you need to, get your friends together, get your family along. Start to see the blinders falling off perhaps already or now. You might already see who is perhaps an encumberment for you, a lesson rather than a friend, and what other types of people perhaps you cannot connect with, and what are the people that are organically, naturally connecting to you now. Pick here, it should be a no-brainer. Okay. But some people are experiencing pleasure and pain simultaneously, and some people maybe perhaps feel that they have to hurt in order to survive. But those of us that are more progressive here and are starting to be just plain, simple, honest, and in a sense, true children of love and true children of God, we might now really satisfy ourselves in knowing that yuck is yuck and yum is yum. If you want and it feels good and it works and it is healthy and it is beautifully and easily achieved, why not? And if you are feeling that sometimes the story is complicated, you don't quite know where you're standing, or you're not quite knowing what's in the mix or how it's all going to look in the end, please discard these things now. So before we start a new solar cycle, it is so good. It is so good to just see and adjust yourself to the obvious yum or yuck response. Like, this is fantastic for me. I feel good. I feel juicy. I feel sexy. I feel informed, or I feel connected. Then this is a yum. And if you are seeing something or somebody in your life and saying, this is difficult, this is hard, I don't understand, I'm not sure if I'm suitable for this, I'm not sure how it's going to stretch, like I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough situations to really back up this particular relationship or this particular opportunity, then it's a yuck. And maybe time will tell. For some people, time will tell. Time is a huge factor this year, and others like it. And we have here the capacity to really change our lives through kindness, generosity, and forgiveness of ourselves and others. And also, forgiveness of also being in the way of our own freedom sometimes, or being in the way of our own health and vitality, or our own happiness. But the main thing that I'm picking up during this time is, how good is it just to shine? How good is it just to be free? How nice it is just to be radically obvious and saying that thing at the right time. And quite often with this particular tribe, the right thing at the right time is just basically the truth. Being the truthful, obvious, vibrant self. You need space for it though. If you're still encumbered, if you're still working out something, if you're still worried about your family karma, if you're not sure about your health issues, if you're not sure about your world, if you're not sure what you're still going to do for the next year to come, this is not going to be easy for you. But if you are not unsure and you have finally established a really nice sense of unity in Pisces, which is what Pisces truly is all about, then come the 21st of March, most of us, I feel, will feel an upliftment or a certain sense of creed or establishment, or just like a poking through, because of course Martian ruled Aries is a very phallic energy, and it's a very, very deep egoic energy. And those of us that have been waiting for that project to come through, or that idea, or that energy, or that money to come through, it might start coming through now, because we're between worlds of Pisces and Aries now. And that which was not required or not yet able to be produced or not yet able to surface will start to come to the surface. So if you can imagine, Pisces is the most feminine energy. It's very, very gliding, very, very sort of like sincerely calming vibration. Then we got the 21st of March, we got Aries, and everything's on the way, everything's purging through. It's very phallic, it's very masculine, it's very strong. And then through this particular window, we can burst through that feeling, and then that feeling becoming the door to our lives. So how we feel New Year's Day, 21st of March, how we celebrate this equinox, how we give, how we received, how we take, how we comfort each other, or how we express our truths, how we generate energy, how we create outcomes and incomes, what we really hope for, what we really feel fully established in is going to pursue. So without too much doubt, please have a look. How are you feeling now? Can you please finish your stories? Can you please now finish that sense of disconnection and misalignment? So questioning yourself, not feeling accomplished, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling workable, not feeling marriageable, not feeling like you're old enough or young enough to do something. All of these I'm not enough feelings have to end. All the feelings of scarcity have to be completely flat. We have to start with a nice flat base in order to create a really nice push when the year comes to Aries. when the year comes to a close and we start again. We have to really, really recognize each other too. So nobody in your family, I hope, is a mystery by now. We're going through a big year, it's very important. None of your friends, investors, workmates, or anything are a mystery by now. I hope that you can see clearly the demographic in which you're thriving, and also the demographic in which you just don't feel the same anymore. Maybe you can't achieve a breakthrough in a certain context, but a breakthrough is nonetheless appropriate for everybody, as long as you're not deluding and denying your own senses and your own qualities. So we have to get really true about ourselves here, but not yet. So this is not about radicalism. This is not about agony. This is not about feist. For now, really create a nice, smooth surface. And then on the 21st of March, you can really push on up. You can really change your world. You can really surprise your friends. You can really surprise the world. And you can really be the dreamer's dream. You can really suddenly become enlightened and alive, colorful. You can become strong and flavor, strong in meaning, because that's where we really get that huge emotional up from the world. And the earth is able to generate so much more for us, of course, during the spring. And everything sort of like goes up a notch. But make sure you're not using your time incorrectly. And then by the 20th of March, that which you're feeding, that you know is not real, that which you're stimulating, that you know is not good, that person that you're trying to still keep beside you that is just not sticking to you, that part of your idea, that part of your project that is not coming to light, that you're still investing in, that part of your life that is not connecting, you still scrambling around trying. Please make sure that there's no scrambling. Definitely no plotting, scheming, misbehaving, lying, or twisting or turning. Though we do have Mercury in retrograde, you can kind of get away with it during this time. Slight twist of the truth sometimes brings about good results, but at the same time, please make it creative and not in deficit of you or anybody else, especially close to you. And yeah, it's really nice to have a nice, clean, vibrant start, which comes from a nice, placid, deep serenity that we can achieve now. So what I'd like you to perhaps do, connect or concentrate on, is how much time could you have perhaps had handy to yourself if you stopped making things so complex for yourself? What would it be that you can perhaps get rid of or implement during this time that would really make your life much easier? And who is it that is just naturally coming your way? Who are these people that are naturally listening to your music, that are buying your books, or just subscribing to you as a person? And what is that which you are still trying to squeeze, to manifest, to push on out before it is time? And quite often the ego will try to push on through that baby, to push on through that project, or to puncture through that reality and scramble for something right before the dawn. So it's always darkest before the dawn, they say. So the ego usually knows that there's going to be a natural punch of light, and sometimes the energy will try to portray itself in many different colors and flavors before the 21st. So you might have an idea, and then another idea. Maybe somebody's calling you this way, somebody's calling you that way. Please try and see what is the most comfortable, most natural, non-negligent state that you can be in. Where are those really nice connective friendships? Where are those really easygoing experiences? Where are those high states of consciousness that you can experience still here in Pisces, that tell you everything is peace and love always? All the work has already been done. You're wanted and loved here. You're cared for. You're carried by the winds of change. Everything will happen in its own time. All the ones that you need are here with you. Everything's fine. If you've got somebody missing in your life or somebody else on your mind, don't. Just make sure that you and your friends and your family, whoever's here, whoever's near, whoever's come into your world during the last few years and that has stayed and become a presence in your life is given a choice to stay, is given time and space to be, without you trying to shuffle through and hand yourself over to the next, the next, because here we have to have a nice pace and we have to kind of know everybody. So also, yeah, inviting new people along right now, you don't need to unless you're very progressive and you see new people all the time. Inviting a new lover in your life right now is laughable. Making a big space for friends that you've never met before, making a huge rhythmic change in your world for nothing, trying to do a brand new idea, trying to start a brand new project right now, unless it's already started and is kind of going, is not good. Especially if you're scrambling for money, if you're scrambling for resources, if you're scrambling for people all the time. Scrambling feeling as if you're in the trap and you're trying to get out. Also feeling trapped and feeling unnerving, or feeling unnerved by the circumstances in which you live, that has to be seen. Take this time as one of this of its one of its kind. This is like a sensitive build up time, and it can be showing of your ego, of what you do and do not want, and what you do and do not have, and can and cannot yet accept. So the scrambling, the fear, all of that is going to show before the dawn on the 21st of March. Also, another couple of things. People that are walking around trying door knocking, making some kind of display, please, if you're one of those people, stop. You don't need to do anything here. If you are door knocking, you're trying to get people on board with your brand, if you're really, really trying to get a girlfriend right now, if you're really, really trying to impress somebody, it is really, really blatantly obvious. And sometimes to be that person, misrepresented and also feeling vulnerable and not calm, that can rub off on you for a long time in such a window. We have a big, big, big time printing phenomena here. So you can imprint yourself for many years, if not decades. If you are still not sure, if you're trying to push somebody in bed with you that is not really connecting to you, if you're trying to make a friend on the side, if you're trying, that really shows, and that can actually spoil the fidelity of your lifetime. During a window like this, it's a very important window. We have like Earth sign trine as well here. But also another thing is, yes, when we are friends with somebody, okay, and we can see like how far we've come with them, and perhaps when we really look at the situation, if by now in the last degrees of Pisces you are seeing that it's not quite real, stick with it for now. So that's another extreme. So wanting things to leave and wanting things to just be replaced by other things, or wanting to be totally alone. And of course, for those of us that are actually feeling finally mature enough or connected enough or considered enough in our lives to actually want to be alone and not want to involve ourselves in anything or with anyone anymore, good for you. So that lonely energy, it's not really lonely, it's more like the choice of solitude over the company of another means that you've really grown. And if you are already here in a pig year, not hungry, not wanting, not asking, not feeling too much shame or vulnerability, if you are already transcending that, as I have been recently, which is very new for me actually, please consider yourself as done, and perhaps your lifetime will be very different now. So for those of us that are actually embracing solitude, and in those last degrees of Pisces, we're actually learning that solitude is a much greater pleasure than anything that we could have filled our minds with, and being in a meditative state has given us almost like an orgasmic expansion, and maybe having nobody is better than just having, or at least somebody, and having peace and time to yourself is actually one of the holiest things, and you're seeing this build up till the 21st of March, good for you. That means you've done your work, you're not scrambling for a result, you're not looking for a karmic lesson, and you're not really afraid of being on your own. But then also please consider, if you're on the extreme end of this and you're actually finding that these people that you have attracted to yourself or brought to yourself in some way, or even asked to be there for you in the last 2 years or so, are no longer shiny for you, and suddenly you want your training wheels gone, and you want everybody gone, and you're so youthful and beautiful, abundant by yourself, that you don't actually want anybody else's involvement with your life. Please stay there. Please don't throw anything away, because if we are throwing away a lot of things before the sun goes into Aries on the 21st here, we can throw away a lot of ourselves and other people out, so far out of our lives that we might not be able to restructure in time for the next wave of energy. So don't scramble to throw anything away, and make sure that you're not so like lazy and so relaxed and so placid that you would actually rather have nothing. So that's another extreme that can happen. People can have an extreme psychedelic experience and, for example, throw away their full ego or consciousness to such an extent that they cannot any longer resonate with the modern world. I've seen this happen a couple of times in the last week. Also, people that want to shed their family, want to shed responsibility, want to shed their homes, want to shed their country, want to shed everything. Please don't work towards shedding anymore. There was a time for sure for us to release a lot of things. At this point, you might be so happy and healthy by yourself, and so good enough for yourself that you might actually accidentally not see that, say, for example, when we get to Taurus, your components are not enough. So you might be able to foresee already that you need these people. There is something there. If they've come along with you, and if it's effortless and it's shining, please no longer, how can I say, no longer discard. Because if you're discarding a lot during these last degrees of Pisces, you may never get it back, or you might be in regret, or you might be in debt later. So right now, discarding and discrediting can lead to deficit. So you don't need to throw anybody or anything out. It's just a really nice, sexy vibration to be still and to be kind of okay with it all. And not just okay, just to feel like the boss. So feel healthy in you, feel happy with your life, be connected, and yes, gather around those natural people around yourself. What I mean by natural people, people that keep in touch with you, people that are blessed to be around you, your family, your friends, your loved ones, anyone. And please make sure that on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, you have some kind of party. Perhaps you celebrate yourselves, you celebrate your connection points to each other, you celebrate yourself and your world, and you stop being so mean with your energy and time, because we're in the pig year. And create this nice level, if you can, on Pisces, so that it will balance with this lovely upturning Aries time. So perhaps you will feel more ambitious, you'll want to give away your time, you'll want to give away your cards, you'll want somebody to come to your house, you'll want to party with somebody. So Aries can be very fruitful and very generous and very open-minded and open-hearted and opportunistic time for those people that are already kind of settled. You know, they're the boss of their life, they feel good, and they're ready to really co-create, pig year, co-create and pride and love and curiosity and fun. So yeah, Aries can be a very fun time. So March, April could be a very fun time if you have a nice stable background created in Pisces, which is what we're doing now. So I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Thank you very much for being here. If you're in New York, I'll still be here for quite a while. If you'd like a reading live, let me know. I'm staying in Harlem, East Harlem. Also, if you would like to check out my channels, all in the links below, my Patreon channel, and also my website. If you'd like a reading for your sign, I will do small readings for each sign, and these will be available on Patreon only. Thank you very much, enjoy, and I'll see you next time.